Right now, as you're watching this, there's probably a mental list running in the background of your mind. Work deadlines, emails you haven't answered, laundry piling up, bills to pay, phone calls you've been avoiding. And here's the weird part. The longer that list gets, the less you actually do about any of it. You know you should be productive. You know exactly what needs to get done. But instead, you're here, scrolling, watching videos, doing literally anything except the things that are stressing you out. And then you beat yourself up for being lazy or undisciplined. But what if I told you that doing nothing when you're overwhelmed isn't laziness at all? What if it's actually your brain's way of protecting you from what feels like an impossible situation? And what if there was a simple 5-minute reset that could break you out of this freeze and get you moving again? I'm going to show you exactly why your brain shuts down when you're overwhelmed and how to reboot it in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee. This isn't about pushing through with willpower or forcing yourself to be more disciplined. This is about understanding how your mind actually works and giving it exactly what it needs to function again. You'll learn a simple 5-step system that you can use anytime you feel that familiar overwhelm paralysis creeping in. You'll understand why this happens to almost everyone, and you'll never again have to wonder why your brain seems to rebel against you when you need it most. So let's start with what's actually happening when you're so overwhelmed that you end up doing nothing. Scientists call this overwhelm paralysis, and it's not a character flaw. It's your mind doing exactly what it's designed to do. Think of your mind like having too many tabs open in a browser. When you're trying to mentally juggle 20 different tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities, your mental processing gets overloaded and starts to slow down. Here's where it gets interesting. Your brain actually perceives this mental overload as a threat. Not a physical threat, but a threat nonetheless. So it does what minds do when they feel overwhelmed. It hits the pause button. But here's the thing. You can't fight a to-do list. You can't run away from your responsibilities. So your mind defaults to shutting down. It's like your internal system is saying, "This is too much. I'm going into protection mode until further notice." And what does this look like in real life? Exactly what you've been experiencing. Scrolling social media instead of working. Watching Netflix instead of dealing with that important email. Cleaning your entire house to avoid starting that one big project. Your mind is literally avoiding the overwhelm by distracting itself with anything else. The cruel irony is that the more you avoid these tasks, the more they pile up, creating even more overwhelm. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle against it, the deeper you sink. Now, if this sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not lacking willpower or discipline. What you're experiencing is a completely normal human response to feeling overloaded. In fact, some of the most high-achieving, driven people experience this the most, because they tend to take on more, have higher standards, and put more pressure on themselves. If you're someone who cares about doing things well, your brain is actually more likely to hit the panic button when it feels like it can't meet those standards. The guilt and shame you feel about doing nothing only makes the problem worse. It's like being stuck in quicksand and then beating yourself up for being stuck, which just makes you sink faster. But here's the good news that changes everything. Just like restarting your phone can fix most glitches, a simple mental reset can break you out of overwhelm paralysis. Research shows that it only takes about 5 minutes to interrupt the stress response and shift your mind from high alert back to normal function. Think of it like a snow globe that's been shaken up. All the thoughts and anxieties are swirling around chaotically. A brief pause lets everything settle so you can see clearly again. This isn't about solving every problem on your plate or suddenly becoming super productive. This is about shifting your brain from chaos mode back to functioning mode. Once you're functioning again, you can think clearly, prioritize properly, and take action without that overwhelming sense of panic. I'm going to walk you through a 5-step reset that you can do anywhere, anytime you feel that freeze response kicking in. These steps are designed to calm your mind, clear your mental fog, and get you unstuck so you can start moving forward again. Step 1 is ridiculously simple, but don't let that fool you. It's also incredibly powerful. You're going to pause everything and breathe deeply for just 1 to 2 minutes. I know. You've heard just breathe a million times, and it probably sounds too basic to actually work. But here's why it does. When you're overwhelmed, your breathing becomes shallow and quick, which sends a signal to your mind that something's wrong. Deep breathing sends the opposite signal, that you're safe and can relax. Here's how to do it. Sit comfortably and close your eyes if you can. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and breathe out slowly through your mouth. Focus on the sensation of breathing, the cool air coming in, the warm air going out. This gentle focus pulls your mind away from all those racing thoughts and gives your system a chance to calm down. Do this for just a minute or two. You'll literally feel your heart rate slow down and your muscles start to relax. You're not solving any problems yet. You're just creating a small pocket of calm in the middle of the storm. Step 2 is about acknowledgement. When we're busy and stressed, we rarely stop to actually identify what we're feeling. But here's something fascinating. Just naming your emotions can actually help tame them. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Try to sum it up in just a few words. Maybe you're feeling anxious and trapped. Maybe you're tired and frustrated. Maybe you're overwhelmed and scattered. Whatever it is, just acknowledge it. There's something powerful about saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, instead of, I'm so lazy for not doing anything. It shifts you from self-judgment to self-awareness. It reminds you that an emotion is affecting you. You're not just fundamentally flawed. If you notice a particular feeling standing out, consider one small act of kindness toward yourself. If you're feeling lonely, maybe text a friend. If you're feeling drained, maybe make a warm cup of tea or play a song you love. These tiny acts of self-care can help cut through that nervous energy and show your brain some compassion. Remember, it's completely okay to feel whatever you're feeling. Emotions are information, not character flaws. By checking in with them instead of ignoring them, you're regaining a sense of connection with yourself instead of being lost in the whirlwind of tasks. Step 3 is where we tackle that mental overload head-on. Often, a huge part of feeling overwhelmed is trying to remember and juggle too many things at once. You're going to give your brain some relief by doing what's called a brain dump. Grab a piece of paper, open a notes app on your phone, or use whatever's handy. Now write down everything that's swirling around in your head. And I mean everything. Tasks, worries, random thoughts. Just get it all out of your brain and onto paper. Don't worry about making it neat or organized. This isn't for anyone else to see. Just dump it all out as fast as you can. Pay credit card bill, finish work project, call mom, buy groceries, car needs oil change, feeling guilty about not exercising, worried about presentation next week. Whatever is taking up mental space, get it out. Don't stop to prioritize or edit. Don't worry about how you phrase things. This is like decluttering a messy room. You're just getting all the stuff out in the open so you can see what you're actually dealing with. Most people feel immediate relief after doing this because those tasks and thoughts aren't buzzing around in their head anymore. They're safely captured on paper. You've literally transferred the mental load out of your brain, which frees up energy and gives you perspective. Take a look at your list now. Often, you'll realize it's not actually infinite. Maybe there are 15 things, maybe 20, but not a million like it felt in your head. And some of them might be quick tasks or just worries rather than actual actions. That's all useful information. Step 4 is about bringing focus to all that chaos. Look at your brain dump list and identify what actually needs your attention today. Not this week, not eventually, today. Put a star next to the items that are most important or urgent. Ask yourself, which of these things, if I don't do them, will have real consequences? What deadlines am I actually up against? What things would make the biggest difference if I completed them? Be realistic here. You probably can't do everything on that list today, and you don't need to. Maybe there are 3 things that really matter, maybe 5. The goal is to cut that overwhelming mountain down to a manageable hill. For everything that's not urgent for today, give yourself permission to park it for later. You're not forgetting about these things. You're just putting them in their proper place so they don't compete for your attention right now. This step is crucial because one of the main reasons we freeze up is that our brain treats everything as equally urgent. When everything feels like a crisis, nothing gets done. By identifying what actually needs attention today, you're telling your brain, these are the main things to focus on. The rest can wait. By the end of this step, you should have a short, reasonable list of what needs doing now. Instead of 100 competing thoughts, you have a clear direction. Your brain can finally stop spinning and focus. Step 5 is where you break the paralysis by taking action, but very, very gently. To get unstuck when you're overwhelmed, you need to start with one ridiculously small task. Look at your prioritized list and pick one thing you can do right now. Make it something simple and not intimidating. You want to guarantee yourself a quick win. When your brain is in overwhelm mode, it needs proof that, hey, we can actually do this. Even a tiny success will give you a little boost of confidence and momentum. So if you have a huge project that feels impossible, don't start with the huge project. Start with a micro task from it. If your kitchen is a disaster and that's stressing you out, don't commit to cleaning the whole kitchen. Commit to loading the dishwasher, or even just clearing off one counter. If your email inbox is scary, don't try to get to inbox 0. Open it and reply to just one friendly email. If you need to work on a report, don't try to finish the whole thing. Commit to writing just one paragraph, or even just opening the document and writing the title. Make it so small it almost feels silly, because that's exactly what gets you moving. There's no step too small when you're trying to break out of paralysis. The point is to prove to your mind that you can do something, anything, successfully. Once you complete that one tiny task, pause and acknowledge it. You did something. That's progress. You You'll likely feel a small lift in your mood and energy, enough to nudge you toward the next small item. Remember, action beats overwhelm every time. Completing one little task provides the motivation to tackle another, and if you feel the overwhelm creeping back in, you can always take another 5-minute reset. Here's what I want you to remember. Overcoming overwhelm paralysis isn't about becoming more disciplined or pushing harder. It's about being smarter with how you manage your mental energy and treating yourself with the same kindness you'd show a good friend. You've just learned that a short reset, a few minutes to breathe, check in with yourself, dump out your thoughts, prioritize what matters, and start small, can interrupt the paralysis and get you moving again. Each small step you take is a victory that builds momentum. And here's the most important part. You're not lazy for feeling stuck. You're human. It's completely normal to experience moments of overwhelm in our fast-paced world. What matters is how you respond when you notice it happening. Instead of beating yourself up with thoughts like, "I'm a failure for not doing more," try flipping the script. "I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, and that's okay. I can break this down and take it one step at a time." This kind of gentle self-talk isn't just feel-good fluff. It fundamentally changes your mindset from self-defeat to self-support. And that makes all the difference in breaking the cycle. Make these 5-minute resets a habit whenever you notice overwhelm creeping in. Some people set reminders to do mini resets throughout their day, like hitting a mental refresh button before stress builds up. Find what works for you. Let me know in the comments. When you do a brain dump like this, are you usually surprised by how much or how little is actually on your list? Over time, you'll get better at catching overwhelm earlier and recovering from it more quickly. You'll start to see those moments of paralysis not as personal failures, but as signals that your mind needs a quick reboot. Remember, you have the tools to break the overwhelm cycle. By calming your mind and tackling things one small step at a time, you'll transform doing nothing back into doing something, gently and sustainably. You've got this. The next time you feel that familiar freeze creeping in, you'll know exactly what to do. Take those 5 minutes, reset your mind, and watch how quickly you can shift from stuck to moving forward again.